Well, now we've got articles coming out stating the housing market stalls in 2025 despite early optimism that there would be a rebound. And so many reasons given for this, except the obvious, but so many reasons given for this. There is and I'll link these in the description below, guys. There's an additional article out of Bloomberg basically suggesting that falling rents are the reason that the housing market is in the situation it's in. Falling rents are holding the housing market hostage, they say. It's just too cheap to rent for people, so they won't buy houses. Really? You looked at a one-bedroom, two-bedroom apartment lately? I mean, anywhere in the country, not even just here? That seems kind of crazy, but that's right, people. Cheap rent. It's the reason people aren't buying. It's certainly not the super overpriced homes that are falling apart. It's certainly not the 7% interest rates. Has nothing to do with the stagnant wages and increased maintenance cost. Couldn't possibly be that. No, it's the rents. It's all the renters and all the landlords' fault. I think that's kind of crazy right now, especially when you look at rents are barely off their all-time high. They are coming down, but all-time high peak rent prices, you would think that would force more people into home ownership, if anything, but not according to Bloomberg. Now, when we talk housing costs, guys, of course, a huge concern, specifically here in Southwest Florida, is insurance. Insurance costs are mostly crazy on some older homes. Things have definitely gotten better, don't get me wrong, but they're never going to be, in my opinion, as cheap as they were 5 years ago. The new construction, again, dominating on the insurance costs. I mean, we're talking, $1 million houses that you could probably get insured for like $2,000, $2,200 a year on the homeowners. So it makes it tough for first-time home buyers or people who are renting to come into a fixer-upper with a low down payment like they used to be able to do and slowly fix up the house, because the age of the home and the insurance carrying costs could bump them out of qualifying for a mortgage. That's just how, I mean, if you get one of these older homes that's, 60s, 70s, that has not been thoroughly updated, or God forbid doesn't have a new roof, I mean, it's not out of the realm to look at multiple thousands of dollars a year on your homeowners, and you can add multiple thousands more if it's in a flood zone. So, it has to be considered in these kind of statements. It's not the rents, guys. It's also the carrying cost and the taxes. And it's not just first-time home buyers, guys, getting squeezed by this. Everyone's getting hit by these insurance costs, and they come out of nowhere. I mean, let's take a look at a map that Realtor.com put out showing the top 10 states with the most uninsured homes, because I think it's going to surprise you. I mean, it surprised me. I'll throw it up on the screen here. Florida, number 10. 10. We were all waiting for one or two at least, right? Got to be on there. We're thinking California is going to be on there. 10 for Florida. 18.1% of homes in Florida are currently uninsured. Thought it would be a lot higher. According to this, 1 in 7 homes nationwide is uninsured. So it's a nationwide issue right now. It's worse in certain areas, depending where you are, like here, of course. You have the flooding in Punta Gorda, the water, and obviously California, Colorado, you have fires and things like that. But it's something everyone has to deal with. New Mexico, 23.3% of homes are uninsured in New Mexico. Anybody from New Mexico, what is going on? Is it just very safe out there? And they don't specify if this is homeowners liability, what this is, but they're just saying totally uninsured. Almost 1/4 of the homes in New Mexico, and almost 1/4 of the homes in West Virginia. If anybody's in these areas or any of these areas on the screen, please comment below. Let me know why you think these are so high. We all would have thought Florida would be much higher than it is on there, but it's you're saying almost 1 in 5 in Florida. And real quick, guys, if you like this content, if you could consider hitting that like button, maybe subscribing to the channel, or just throwing a comment down below, helps me out immensely, and I always appreciate it. And we'll get back to the video. And from that initial article, as 2025 began, the stars were aligning in a housing market rebound. Inflation was easing, the economy looked strong, and mortgage rates were drifting downward. But by April, there were more available homes to buy than any time since January 2020, according to the Federal Reserve of St. Louis. And that's, again, a nationwide look at things. If you look around Punta Gorda, where I'm walking again today, There haven't been this many homes available since like 2009. Some says at some points this season it was 2008. It was crazy. Now again, we do put the asterisk there. There are more people. There are more homes. It's a different. You can't compare one to one, but it's still, you haven't seen that many houses on the market in the better part of 14, 15, 16 years in some places around here. There's areas in Sarasota and Cape Coral and Lee County, and some areas in Collier County where this is kind of following suit as well. So on the nation overall, haven't had this many homes listed in 5 years, but in some subsets, it's much, much worse. They go on to state real estate agents across the country are reporting a chilled environment, with sellers unwilling to lower their prices and buyers reluctant to make big purchases. I wonder why. Even in the markets where prices have fallen and inventory is piling up, like Austin, Texas, they always go after Austin. It's like the poster child. Homes on the market are sitting for months. And that's sort of what we have going on here too, guys. Buyers have the run of the mill. We know that. And, it's not for me to tell you if you should buy. It's not for me to make the decision on when is the right time to buy for you. That's everybody's personal decision. I can't tell you that. You know what I mean? I'm not your finance guy. Or I'd be much wealthier. I'd be wealthy at all. Many of you know me. You see my car. I'm not rolling in it. So I'd probably be better up the ladder. But, I mean, that's the problem. We've talked about this before. They're not considering the carrying costs. It's like the same thing with the condo market here. At a certain point, people care about monthly payments, whether it's a car, whether it's a home. And when the cost monthly goes up to carry that, there's a ceiling you're going to hit, and that people are not going to be able to go past. And that's what's happening in many markets. 7% mortgage rates seem to be the magic number, that anytime we tip over that, that's when stuff really starts to grind to a halt. So to blame it on rent seems preposterous to me. And it can be argued that in a lot of areas in the country right now, it makes more sense to rent than it does to buy. You can rent a house cheaper than it would be to have a mortgage on it, even if you put a considerable amount of money down right now, which again, first-time home buyers typically don't have. They have usually 3 to 5%, so the numbers don't work for them. But to say cheap rents, I mean, that's crazy. I did dive into the rents because it's been a little while since I looked at them as well. I could tell you what I see here, and then we'll tell you what they're reporting nationally. In Southwest Florida, our rental inventory is still extremely elevated. It is at decades high in most areas, Sarasota included, Lee County included, Charlotte, still over 1,900 rentals, which we've been at for practically a year. I am not seeing the large rental declines price-wise at this point this year that I saw last year. It seems around this area, some rents appear to be stabilizing. And what happened first in 2023 was the rental market went. They dropped drastically here. Still not to an affordable level, but drastically for what they were getting. Resale market followed. So I have to ponder, and I'm not an economist, this is all anecdotal. Does the resale follow stabilizing after the rental market stabilizes? And I can't even believe the rental market's stabilizing because there's so many available rentals, and they're still building apartment complexes everywhere around here. You got everywhere around, and no matter who I'm talking to in this country, they probably know within 5 miles of their house that there's an apartment complex going up. So it's crazy, but we did get reports, and I will link this here as well. Asking rents are falling in 28 major U.S. metros. That's the most since 2023. And 2023 was when I started really reporting these big rental drops around here. We didn't really see them across the nation, but you have to argue, how much are they considering? What's a big rental drop to these people? Well, median U.S. asking rent dropped 1% year over year to $1,633 in May, as elevated apartment supply gave renters room to negotiate. Wow, big deal, guys, 1% drop. Now, it's been much more severe in certain markets, again, like Austin and here. But nationwide, 1%. It ain't cheap rent why people aren't buying houses, guys, because they really haven't gone down. And they do bring up Austin. Asking rents fell fastest in Austin, down 9% to the lowest level in 2021. So maybe in Austin, and maybe some places around here, but not nationwide. They blame it on apartment construction in America hovering at 50-year highs. Now, previously it was at like 70-year highs. We know they've slowed down on going forward with a lot of these projects because they've seen what has happened, though the ones that have finished are looking to basically price out the smaller landlords. They have the ability to give free months rent. They have the ability to absorb losses and do specials where some of the smaller landlords can't do that. So much like new construction for homes, they're trying to corner the market right now. And I think they're doing a pretty good job. I'm surprised by the density in the parking lot of a lot of these new complexes. And then I go on their sites and it's like, 3 free months. I'm like, that's pretty good. That's not bad. I'm not going to lie. So they do clarify that while asking rents are falling, they are much less volatile than they were during the pandemic, obviously, where they just skyrocketed out of nowhere. I mean, I saw people around here, their rent went up like $800 a month. And we're talking like $900 to like $1,700 when they went to renew. Just insane. Disgusting in my opinion. But, yeah, and they say here the small changes of roughly 1% down pale in comparison to the wild swings during the pandemic where asking rents jumped as much as 17% at a time. And guys, I could tell you, they doubled here. They doubled overnight. It wasn't 17, it was 100% in a lot of instances. 17 would have been like a blessing for some people who got caught up in this. So, I don't know. But you can't throw a rock without hitting a multifamily construction site right now. So, I think they stabilize in the long term. I can't see them. There's, every now and then we get this article or an article here and there. It's like, oh, rents are going back up, but I don't know. I just don't see them going down as fast. My rental agents I speak with tell me they are still reducing, just not to the degree that was initially seen, but I'm not seeing major drops like I was 2 years ago around this area. So these apartment complexes can price out the little guys because they're offering 2-bedroom, 2-bath, basically luxury, what they call luxury apartments with the amenities for the same price that smaller landlords are offering. I mean, slums really in some cases, like just beat up houses. So of course the people are going to gravitate to these apartment complexes, especially if they're going to throw in multiple months of free rent. Why wouldn't they? It's just, it's a no-brainer. I will kick over to seasonal rentals, doing very poorly. Normally we're booked up a year in advance. We have stuff, our company has stuff well into 2026 available. So it's a lot slower than it has been. Last year was very slow as well. And I assume that's going to continue. Now, if you have a special type of property, you have a unique vacation rental, there's still stuff like, you're on Siesta Key, it's getting rented. You're in Sarasota, it's getting rented. But the days of being off of 75, 50 minutes from the beach and getting a seasonal rental in there for a high price, those are kind of over, which also has bled into the Airbnb situation. So with that being said, it's very strange to me that we are still having sellers instead try to opt to rent their properties. And that is what is keeping a lot of this rental inventory up. Homes that did not sell, sellers are looking to put on the rental market, but the asking prices are way too high. And depending on when they bought, a lot of them are renting at a loss. So I don't know. I see this advice online a lot. It's like, hey, rent it at a loss till the market comes back. And I'm just like, man, if you've never been a landlord, I was a property manager for a while. So the damage that can get done will undo any losses you may have taken by just selling the home. It can really get catastrophic if you're not careful. And you guys have seen videos online, landlords getting caught up and their places are just trashed when the tenants leave. And I've seen people around here, $15,000, $20,000 was nothing to have to spend to get the place up to snuff. And so I think that's also a dangerous game because you run the risk of one bad tenant can make the losses that much worse. But that is why our rental inventory is still so elevated. Things are leasing and the numbers should be going down. But as they get leased, people who couldn't sell for what they wanted are now putting seasonal and annual rentals back on the market. And even here, guys, as you can see, they're still building in Punta Gorda Isles, building a lot of houses around here. Actually, I think by me, there's like 4 or 5 of them going up. Just, I'd say, within a 3-block radius. So this is going to try to outcompete everything else around here. That is the purpose. And if they're successful, I don't know. We'll see. But that's all I got for today, guys. If you like this video, give me a like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.